also show that you hope to do more after LMI has geared you to be more capacitated. So during our time, we had a slogan. So they would call us fellows in training, the LMI management, our resource persons would call us fellows in training, and then we'll respond. They'll call us FITS, F-I-T-S, which is fellows in training. And then we'll respond with our slogan, capacity. So LMI gave us, capacity, which they are also going to transmit to you guys. So they want to see that you're already doing something. Definitely that is the only way you make it, past this stage, and be chosen for the program. But they want to see that after LMI helps you acquire more leadership competencies, which you already possess, that you are willing to put it to work and achieve more. So in your personal statement, there are three questions. And you are to answer one from the three of them. So I would like to take you through what the selection committee will be looking out for via the instrumentality of those three questions. So question one is why you want to join the public service, the legislature, and the impact you want to make there. Now, this question one is intended to evaluate your knowledge. What is the motive, and the potential that you will succeed in the public sector. They want to know whether you recognize the role of the legislature, the importance of the public sector in shaping our society. They also want to know whether you even understand the challenges bedeviling our public sector and whether you are able to profile innovative solutions. Now, in my own application, already I work in the legislature. So when I saw the LMI, it was the perfect, program for me, to further enhance my proficiency at my work, so that I would require less supervision from my superiors, and contribute more. So in my own application, under this segment of impact I would like to achieve, I mentioned that the Nigerian legislature is not properly driven by technology. And I highlighted the importance of IT, AI, in arriving at data-driven policies for better to use my technical skills to develop innovations, technological innovations that can help the legislature. I mentioned, for instance, representatives have constituents back at home. Now, I was talking about needs assessment of projects that will really benefit the constituents. For instance, maybe they need a school. How does their representative here in Abuja, who is not in the village, know what the people really need? And I said they can use, for instance, podcasts. You can go to the community, conduct surveys, use podcasts, get people's real inputs, real-time inputs on what they really want and how it will aid them. So I talked about how I would use my technical skills to advance the work of the legislature. So that is what they want to see. If you get there, or if you are here already, what impact, what changes, what positive transformation are you going to drive? Now, question 2 says, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? So they are asking you to know about your career goals and your ambitions. They want to see if you have a clear vision for your future that also align with the LMI's mission. And what is their mission? Commitment to making positive impact in the public sector in Nigeria. So in this area, I would like that everyone does like a career map. What is a career map? A career map is like a progression in your career journey. It simply answers the question, where are you today in your career and where are you going to? So in doing that, you will really be able to tell yourself the truth. Okay, this is where I am going to, and what do I need to get to my destination? What knowledges, what education, what connections, what leadership skills, what ethics, what type of attitude do I have to have, must I possess for me to actually achieve my career goals? And how will LMI help you reach that career destination? So this is what they want to see in that segment. And on the question 3, they said, if you are elected a federal or state legislator, what would you achieve in your first term of office, which is 4 years? This question is testing how you will use your position. If you are made a legislator today, or if you are made a civil servant, or if you're already there, how will you use that position to further drive development in the country? So what they're testing for here is, are you able to set achievable goals, realistic plans that are achievable in 4 years? They want to see that whether you are a visionary leader. So I believe that if you really understand the intent behind the LMI or the whole motive behind the LMI program, you will be able to really talk to yourself and know whether it actually aligns with your own aspirations. You know, whether you should actually go ahead in making the application, and then you'll be able to effectively communicate your intent more and align it with the program's vision. And I believe with this, your chances of being selected for the program are sky high. So with this, I'll wrap it up, and I wish you guys all the best in your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Bolu. Thank you for setting the foundation for today's masterclass. For the sake of the recording, I would just like to say a big welcome to those that just joined us. Welcome to the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Cohort 2 Application Masterclass. To a strong application. It is a pleasure to have each and every one of you here, and I believe that as you've heard Bolu's presentation, that has set the foundation. You have so much more to come. And already we have our speaker that is ready to download us with the wealth of knowledge that he has. I believe that some striking things that Bolu said, among a lot more, was how she said, it's not just about having the title of leadership. What are you doing in your community? What are you doing with what you have? That is very important. So thank you so much, Bolu. Even though you're burnt out, you still made out time to come here today. Thank you so much. And I would like to recognize the presence of our guest speaker. She's right here in the program, Ms. Kolapo Shonuga. Thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to hear from you. That's our guest speaker. She has a lot loaded for us. So you guys are in for it today. I've seen comments. I've seen that someone is already hyping up the next speaker. Fareed, you brought your fans here. He said, an ever dynamic, ever dogged, ever pertinacious fellow. Fareed, I hope that I know that you're going to live up to those praises. So let me just read out Fareed's profile real quickly, and then he's going to take the stage. So Fareed Ibrahim is going to take the value of LMI to your professional portfolio. Fareed is not just the first deputy speaker of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Parliament, which I believe he deserves a round of applause for that. Fareed Ibrahim is a multi-skilled and highly motivated leader with an exemplary leadership experience, with a strong passion for community development, climate change, and quality education. His exceptional communication skills, which you would see in a moment, ability to work in teams. He's a leader, but he will still make you feel welcome. His high emotional intelligence has made his organization, Smart Aid Initiative, which you should check out, a driving force in advocating for change in climate action and promoting quality education. I have to say, not a lot of people are very much involved in climate actions, and then Fareed is doing that. So he deserves a round of applause for that. By building and maintaining relationships, Fareed and his teams have successfully implemented projects that contribute to a sustainable future and equitable access to education in marginalized communities. He is a one champion, a goalkeeper for SDGs, a grassroots campaigner, and just recently, he organized the TEDx in Kanuri. Please, could you give it up with a resounding round of applause once again for our deputy speaker, Mr. Fareed Ibrahim, the ever dynamic, ever dogged, ever pertinacious, as Usman said. Please, it's your stage. Fareed, you're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pamela, Veronica. I must thank you all for putting this together. This is actually very important.
Well, put DSP.
Doing an exceptional job. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Shalabi, my speaker. Good evening. My name is Fareed Ibrahim, the Deputy Speaker of the LMI Parliament. And I'll just go straight to the point. I've been asked to speak on the value of LMI to your professional portfolio. And basically, I'll just run you all through just my experience during my stay in Abuja and as a fellow of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. I think if you are lucky to be selected as an LMI fellow, I think it's actually a lifetime opportunity because you get to meet, out of the 45 people that will be selected for this cohort, you get to meet the best brains in the world. Because I can vividly say when I first got to LMI.
Thank you. So sorry, Fareed.
I can see when I first got to LMI, I was actually thinking I was like the lowest person, or like the person that has the little knowledge, because when we had to introduce ourselves, I had to meet the likes of Kolapo IMΑM, lots of people, say Ufuoma Oghuvwu, and I was actually motivated to do more. So the first thing that LMI will teach you is to be motivated, to do more, to be passionate about what you are doing in your portfolio. And to build on what Bolu said, LMI is not only for public service leaders. Like me, I'm actually at the development sector. I founded Smart Aid Initiative, and I was able to meet lots of people, network, share ideas, and actually develop my personal and professional development. Because basically, I can tell you that with the like-minded people I've actually met at LMI, we've been able to do lots of projects. Even the recent EduFall project that we have in Zamfara State today, it's basically an idea of me and I'll say Godson, who is a fellow of the LMI. So you get to meet people that will actually help in developing you, staying motivated, and creating opportunities for you. Then we have skills development. Basically, it will help you to build yourself by exploring you through specialized trainings, workshop, analytical training, such as communication, leadership, problem solving. And LMI gives you a practical knowledge and experience of the workings of the National Assembly. You get to know more about bills, how they are drafted, passed, and enacted, which is very, very important, because I can tell you that when I actually went to LMI, I had zero idea about the workings of the National Assembly. And with time, you guys will pass through the likes of Big Ben, you pass through like amazing people who have the knowledge of the working system of the National Assembly, and you get to know much more about it. Then networking opportunities, it helps you to build a strong network of professional young people across Nigeria. Like I said, if you are lucky to be selected, you are meeting the best brains in Nigeria. I can tell you that, because when you share ideas, you share innovations, you definitely know you are taking your ideas to the field in terms of execution, and you are going to make Nigeria proud. And apart from that, there's mentorship guidance. Throughout your stay in LMI, you meet mentors, you meet different people, lots of people, because LMI brings mentors to your doorstep. It's just for you to act. So when working on your essay and your application process, just make sure you give your best. Don't be unique about yourself. In your essay, make sure you add up what you do, what makes you special, and why you should be selected for the LMI. And also leadership opportunity. I can really tell you it has opened doors for leadership opportunities. You get other opportunities because you might probably be recommended to serve as a legislative aide, to work under, I think, a House of Reps member, and also to work basically to see how you can actually bring up a bill or policy for a House of Reps member. So it's definitely going to open doors for opportunities. So LMI is an investment in your personal and professional development, and it is definitely going to contribute to your dynamic professional platform. And I urge you all to just give your best. Make sure you do all you need to do in terms of reviewing your essay. Just put in your best and be unique about it. If you can do that, if you are selected, well, it's going to actually change your mindset, and it's going to be a lifetime opportunity for you. So I think that is all from my side. And Pamela, thank you so much for having me. Do have a good night.
Thank you so much, Fareed. No, thank you for having me. You're our leader. Please, can we give Fareed a round of applause? He has given us the breakdown of the value LMI adds to your portfolio is so much more. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Fareed. That is the Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship. Please give him a round of applause so you can get the mantle if you want to be the Deputy Speaker in LMI Cohort 2. Fareed said so many things that just struck my mind. You see that part about introduction, when they said everybody should introduce themselves, you're just hearing, I'm a CEO, I'm doing this. You just, I didn't know, I thought that it was just me that had the imposter syndrome. I'm like, are you seeing the amazing people that are in this program? How did I get here? But let me tell you something. If they picked you for LMI, they saw something in you, and you should recognize that in yourself as well. And it pushes you to do more. Thank you so much, Fareed, for that. It actually does. You want to take on global stages. LMI has pushed me to do more. And then this year, I also got an opportunity as part of a delegate in World Bank, which was actually virtual. And you can just see that being part of such a program, you just want to do more. And then he also spoke about mentorship. I would have never been able to meet the amazing Miss Kolapo IMÄM, who is very much amazing, if I didn't go for LMI. So LMI has so much opportunities, and please register. Overcome your imposter syndrome. Please, another round of applause for Mr. Fareed Ibrahim, the Deputy Speaker of the LMI Parliament. Thank you very much, sir. So we have the next speaker. I'm sure we're all happy. We're getting, don't worry, you'll have time to ask them questions. Write your questions. You would ask everybody questions. You're not going to miss out. I wish this was paid because you guys are just getting a lot of value. So we have Honorable Ufuoma Oghuvwu. I hope I pronounced that right, my sister. Honorable Ufuoma is going to be taking equity and inclusion. Honorable Ufuoma is also a powerhouse. I mean, you need to meet Ufuoma. She's someone that you meet, and when you meet her, you know that you have met a woman. So, Honorable Ufuoma, I'm just going to read her profile. She has been actively involved in consumer and experiential marketing. She is passionate about creatively telling brand stories and executing eclectic brand experiences that align with brand strategy and effectively delivers on marketing objectives. Just to let you guys know, Ufuoma didn't want to give me her profile, but she didn't know that I was a step ahead of her and I have gotten it. So you people hear how amazing Ufuoma is. Ufuoma was part of the team that conceptualized and executed the Guinness World Record-breaking Sweet 60 activation in celebration of Nigeria's 60th Independence Day anniversary in 2020, largest cupcake mosaic. So Ufuoma has been part of like world record breakers before. I didn't know. She currently manages a plethora of accounts, which includes, but is not limited to, Dangote Cement, Dangote Foods, Dangote Fertilizer, Samsung Nigeria, Africa Data Centers, GSK Nigeria, Powerhouse Energy Drink, among many others. In addition to creatively telling brand stories, Ufuoma is about doing brand stories. Ufuoma is a voice. She provides consumers the opportunity and platform to experience the brands firsthand. She is also a part of a network of young Nigerians promoting good governance and citizen engagement. Please, could we give Ufuoma a round of applause as she takes the stage on equity and inclusion? Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Please just let me know if you can hear me. Thank you, Pamela.
Hear you.
I was just saying that I thought I successfully ran away from this part of the call. So just to ride off from where Fareed stopped, he was talking about the opportunities that LMI gave him. I currently work with Enough is Enough Nigeria as the senior program. So we do programs on civic education and political education and citizen engagement. This is an opportunity that I have now because I went to the LMI as well. So prior to the time, I was working in marketing, doing brand stories and consumer marketing and consumer engagement. But I've been able to successfully pivot. I'm saying this because some persons here might be thinking of pivoting or transitioning careers to doing something in the development space. LMI would give you the opportunity to do that if that is currently where you are right now. So going very quickly into what I'm supposed to talk about today is there's a question in your application that says, the LMI values equity and inclusion regardless of gender or ability status. what is your stance on equity and how does it align with LMI values? So basically it's an essay question, right? And they're asking you two things. They're telling, number one, they're telling you that LMI is an equal opportunity, right, for persons with disability, for persons, for everybody basically, right? And they're also asking you, so they're telling you that LMI values equity and LMI values inclusion. And so they're asking you, what is your stance on equity and inclusion and how does it align with LMI values? What I'm going to try to do in the next 5-10 minutes is just to give you a guide on how you can structure your essay in response to that question so that it's more practical, right? The first thing is for you to understand what exactly equity is. Equity basically talks about the quality of being fair and impartial. This is very important in LMI because we have to understand that Nigeria is a very diverse country, right? We are multi-ethnic, we have different languages. We also have persons with disabilities as well. During the inaugural cohort, we had a 50-50 spread in terms of male and female ratio. And we also had 3 persons with disabilities that were part of the cohort. And I can tell you for a fact that did something to our minds. It did something to my mind, right? I remember we had a session where we got to see life from their perspective, and it just gives you an informed opinion about inclusion and the importance of inclusion. And so in response to this, you need to ask yourself, like literally sit down and ask yourself, what is your stance on equity? What is your stance on inclusion? And how have you demonstrated it in the past? At the end of the day, that's what all your essay questions are seeking to do. They want to know who you are, what you think about certain things, and how you have demonstrated it. So for example, you have, in the last general elections, I was privileged to work with the Speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament on a project that we think inclusion. Well, what this project was supposed to do was supposed to train and educate persons with disabilities on how they can be actively involved in the electoral process. Now, if I were to be applying for the LMI second cohort, and I'm responding to this question on my stance on equity and how it aligns with LMI's values, that is a very good example that I can put in there. To say, oh, I believe that Nigeria should be, we should run a very impartial system in Nigeria where all our institutions are impartial. And as a writing off my belief, I have gone on to do X, Y, Z to show that I also include people. If you haven't done that, you can also talk about time. Everybody has a story of when they've been excluded or included in something, right? Think about it very critically and find ways to do that. If you haven't, this is a good time for you to say that the LMI will give you the opportunity to this is a good time for you to sorry, the chat box was distracting me for a bit. So basically, I was saying this is a good time for you to think about it and how. So me telling you that the LMI is equal, gives equal opportunity to every single person. Now it's left for you to go back and think of how this can impact your work. If you are looking in the development sector, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, there is a need for inclusivity. Our policies need to be more inclusive, right? I remember one of the during the LMI, we paid a courtesy visit to I forget now. There's a ministry that works with persons with disabilities, right? I've forgotten the name right now. But we paid a visit there, and we saw the things that they were currently doing, or the things that they were trying to implement in terms of ensuring that Nigerian policies and Nigerians embrace equity and inclusivity, right? So those are things that you can go and look up, right? You can go and look up those things, look at the things that actually apply to you, and then you can tailor your essay into it. Again, it's 150 words, so you don't have the luxury of a lot of words to really say what is on your heart or what is in your mind. But at the end of the day, you should be able to demonstrate your understanding of what inclusivity and equity is about. You should be able to demonstrate either a time that you have shown the values that apply to equity, or your interest in learning about it, your interest in meeting with people from different walks of life, your interest in meeting with persons with disability, or if you are somebody that has like a project in your heart that you want to maybe implement or something like that, you can then also share that. And then lastly, at the end of the day, every good essay has a very good beginning and has a very, very strong conclusion. Ensure that you tailor your conclusion should kind of tie in everything that you're trying to say in your essay. It should tie in who you are, what you think about equity and inclusion. It should tie in your experience and what you hope to gain from the LMI. So you can say something like, oh, at the end of your through the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, you hope to network with persons with disability to understand XYZ so that you can do XYZ, right? It should be strong. We should see, or they should see rather, the selection committee should see your enthusiasm towards inclusion and equity. I think that really that's it for me on this topic. Thank you very much.
Please, could we give her a round of applause? Thank you so much for your speech on inclusivity and equity. And just to add my voice on that, Eunice Uchechi Wonkocha wanted to also pass a message. She says, as a fellow of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, it will interest you to know that I am a person with albinism and fall within the categories of persons with disability due to low vision and vulnerability to the sun. Also with me at the LMI Fellowship Program were Onuche Sunday Emmanuel and Mohammed Bello, who were also part of the disability cluster. The LMI program is all-inclusive and leaves no one behind because we believe in inclusivity and the capacity in every individual to be great and make exploits for self and community development that eventually transcends to nation building. So thank you so much, Ufuoma, for highlighting that LMI is an all-inclusive platform. I mean, we were all in LMI and then we learned sign languages, people like us that really never even thought to even learn about it. And I remember after LMI, I met someone, he was in Studio 54 here in Abuja. I was going to take passport photographs. And then I knew how to say, "How are you?" in sign language. And then when I went there with my friend, we noticed that he couldn't speak. He couldn't hear rather, sorry. So when we were speaking, he was just telling us that we should come. So we understood that. And then he took our passport photographs and then I looked at him and then I asked him, "How are you?" And then he smiled so hard, like the joy you could just feel the joy. And then he took my phone. He said he wants to write something down. I took notes and then I put it in his hand. He said, "Who taught you that?" I said, "Well, I went to a program and we had a friend there and he had to use sign language and then we learned that." He said, "Thank you so much." I said, "Thank you thank you for the opportunity to meet you." And it was such a wholesome experience because he felt seen in that area. And just imagine people going there and then they don't understand what he's going through and then they just neglect him. So it's very beautiful when you go to institutions and then you see that they are bringing about inclusivity, and that's what LMI does. And it opens your eye to that because when you have your institutions, you wouldn't just close your eyes to other people because they are persons living with disability. So please, a round of applause for Ufuoma once again for shining the light on that topic. Thank you so much, Ufuoma. So the day is moving fast and we're going to have our next speaker now. Our next speaker is none other than Honorable Abdul Basit Kolapo IMΑM. He's going to be taking high quality tips for your video submission. Now, anything products, Abdul Basit is your man. That wasn't a pun on words, please. He's a product evangelist, a product manager, and a product marketing manager. So he helps companies learn more about their customers, competitors, and markets towards identifying unique opportunities to position their offers much better. Can you see how dynamic LMI fellows are? Like if you have been paying attention to our profiles, you can see that we are dynamic. They're not just speaking a cluster of people. And then there's so much more. He is a product manager with over 5 years of experience as a marketing professional. He has experience working with products and companies across technology, education, media, real estate, travel, hospitality, ad tech, fintech, martech, logistics, agencies, and lots more. Kolapo IMΑM is referred to as the tech guru. I remember when this guy was running for elections, everybody in LMI received messages. He spammed everybody with messages and he was vote for him. I'm just like, who is this person that is just messaging me like this on top elections? His strong personality distinguishes him out of any crowd. When he comes for gymming, you will know that Kolapo has come. He has a love for writing, taking exciting courses, teaching, speaking, and traveling. And I'm sure that you're going to enjoy this session. Please, you guys are already giving him a round of applause. Add more as Kolapo takes the stage. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Thanks so much, Pamela, for the casting. I'll call it casting because I think that's a whole lot. Oh yeah. I'm excited to be here. My name is Kolapo IMΑM, and some of you might know my face probably online. I can't say, well, yeah. I was part of the first cohort of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative at Abuja, and then it was an exciting experience for me. So in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you tips on how you should pay close attention to your video submission. So I think that's like the last part of the submission this time around. There's you have like 2 or 3 essays that you're meant to write. One is on your interest for the program, and then there's another one on equity, and then I think the last question, and then the video submission. So for context, interestingly, let me have a breaking news, and the breaking news is that they're going to watch all your videos. Trust me, they're going to watch all the videos. I don't know how many of you are going to apply this year, probably 1,000 or even more, but they're going to watch all the videos. And what I'm saying this is because during our training, I remember there was a session that we had at the National Assembly, and then our director, he wanted to reference something, and then he mentioned like an excerpt from, I think, it was a video submission from Bolu, and he mentioned, watching that video, and then he called out the exact phrase from that video. So they just tell you that your video is not a waste, and that they're going to watch your video. And as you can see, my space is well lit so that you can see my face. So this is the type of video they are looking for. This is not to say you have to do a video like this, but you have to put in some effort. So let me go quickly into it. In the video prompt, they're asking you to record a 1-minute video about your interest in applying for LMI. The question says your interest, but contextually, what they're looking for is beyond your interest, right? So they're looking for actually 3 things that they're looking to see in that video. One is that they want to see your confidence level, of course, to say you can communicate very well, and then you can present, you can tell your story very well. They're looking for that. But more importantly, what they are looking for is that you understand the LMI mission, right? You have an understanding of what the LMI stands for, because that is meant to come out in that presentation when you're trying to, respond to the video, to record your video and then submit. There are 3 areas that you must cover in your video. One of them is that, and before you write this video, let me just share, before you go ahead and start recording your video, you need to ask yourself, right? So where they are coming into this program, what exactly am I looking forward to, benefit from LMI? But in a way, try to connect what Bolu shared and what Ufuoma shared and what you compared, and then look within yourself. What skills do I have that's going to... Yeah, cool. So you need to ask yourself, what skills or how do I come in as a person into the LMI program? What am I looking to benefit from LMI? Sorry, can you mute your mic? Sorry.
Please mute your mic.
So you need to answer that question yourself, that how am I going to benefit from LMI? What's the host is especially on the...
Sorry. Please, could you mute your mic?
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes,
Can say some background noise, but let me proceed. Yeah, so I lost my thought process actually. Yeah, so the program it is on the website that they're looking for people with interest in legislature and then public sector. So that might seem like a like a pullback for some people that are not interested, that are not actively working in the public sector or the legislature, right? And that is just someone like me, that is where I come in. I'm from a private, private, you call it private industry, whatever it is that we're going to call it, not in the public sector, but then I have interest in public sector. So the goal of that video is that you should be able to connect your interest outside of public sector to how it's going to impact public sector, and what benefit is it to you as an individual learning how the legislature operates and being part of this mentorship initiative. So I'm going to break down the lesson. One is that you need to identify what your core message is going to be in that video. So what are you trying to tell them? Are you telling them a personal story? Are you telling them something that you've done in the past that indicates your leadership, prowess, or something that you're planning to do that Legislative Mentorship Initiative is going to contribute, massively into the success of that initiative? In my own, and of course, I'm going past the application stage, so let me just explain to you. I think in my video, what I mentioned then, I recorded my video 2 times actually. The first time I wasn't dressed properly when I watched it, and then I went back to kind of level up a little. But then the story that I told in my video, was that I had a background. My first degree was in political science, and then I'm working in the private sector. But then I noticed that some of the organizations that I work with, they struggle with understanding government policies, or sometimes they struggle with being able to apply some even government policies to what they do. All right. So my goal of applying for Legislative Mentorship Initiative is that it's going to equip me with those skills to, interpret these policies to them in a way that it's going to benefit them, or it's going to also expose me to how the legislative operates. And then when I get back to my team, I can always say, hey, if I'm looking to achieve this, let's borrow some concept from the legislature and how they go about, their day-to-day affairs. And that was the story that I told. And of course, they watched my video, and thankfully, I got into the program. So why am I telling you this is that you might not be a public sector, person. You might be in the private sector. You might even be an entrepreneur. I think we're an entrepreneur in our time, but you should be able to connect your professional or your personal pursuit to what the Legislative Initiative is going to bring you, and of course, what you are looking to bring, to the court as well. And as I mentioned, the courts are going to be of different groups of people. By group I meant then we had members from all states in the country, across all genders, just think of it, any type of Nigerians you're looking to meet, you find them at LMI. So you also need to demonstrate some level of understanding for inclusivity or inclusiveness rather in your video application as well. So it's a very short video, so you need to be very strategic in the way you organize your video. It's also very fine for you to have a script, but ensure you don't read from your script when you're about to record your video. If the script is natural to you, of course you should write your script yourself, master it, and then you present your script to the video as much as you can. Then the second tip is that you need to also embrace some storytelling techniques. So what I mean by storytelling techniques is that you're not getting on the video to run, you're not getting on the video to beg the viewer. Sorry, I was messing up. So sorry. You're not getting on the video to run to them. You're not getting on the video to complain to them or to beg them, right? You don't get them and say, please accept my application, please. I want to be there. I want to, that's not going to work. That's not storytelling techniques. That's being unnecessarily emotional. So storytelling technique means that you need to connect from the very first scene of your video to the last part of your video. So there are going to be 3 major parts of your video. There are going to be 3 major parts of a video. The first part is you asking the question on why are you interested in applying for LMI, because that's what the prompt says. But you shouldn't stop there. So if you stop there, then your why is going to look like every other whys, right? So why is basically answering your question. Say, why are you interested in LMI? I'm interested in LMI because I want to do this, I want to do that. trust me, there are going to be hundreds and thousands of applicants with this similar why to you. So what is going to distinguish your own why, your reason for applying, is what you bring to LMI and what you are coming with. So I want to apply because then I have a background, in this, or I'm interested in this, or I've been doing this, and then LMI is going to be like, maybe like the sponsor or whatever it is that you want to put, the adjective you want to use to say LMI is going to be that entity or that experience that will, solidify whatever it is that you've been working on personally or even professionally for you. So you need to also master some of these storytelling techniques. It doesn't have to be superb, just something natural, right? Just be yourself. And then visual and emotional appeal. So visual and emotional appeal means that you can see that in my video, I've been moving around a lot. I've been doing all of this. That's just me being visually, appealing to you. I can as well just sit down and speak, and then you're just going to, is this guy real? Is this another AI generated video? I learned that this guy is a tech person. Maybe he's not the one speaking. So don't be robotic, right? The people watching your video, the reviewers, they are real human beings. So it's not going to be reviewed by AI. They're real human beings. I don't know them, so don't try to look for me online. Don't pay me. I don't pay any fellow. Don't pay any alumni. We're not going to get you in. Your videos will get you in, trust me. What I'm trying to say is that you need to be visually and emotionally appealing to whoever is watching your video. You move around, you gesticulate, just a little. And that way, when they're watching your video, they can easily connect with your message. You're not just sitting down and just, again, don't run to them and don't complain and don't beg. We're trying to pass a message across to them in, a very natural way, as much as you should. And yeah, finally, and this is going to be my last tip, is that please ensure that you have your space is well lit if you want to record a video. It's fine if you don't have any artificial lighting, like ring light or any of those, or studio light. You don't have to call Shakaka video or photography to shoot a video for you. You don't have to call T.J. Mori or any of those guys to shoot it for you. You can shoot it with your phone, with any device. Just ensure that your face is legible. They can see you, and then the space is lit. You can, you can shoot it with using your natural lighting, very early in the morning or when the sun is out. You look for the sun and face the sun direction. Make sure that you have a very nice background as much as you can, and that they can see, who is speaking. And yeah, also very important, make sure that your audio quality is superb. And finally, if possible, if the time permits, feel free to share a video with some of your friends, very close circle, right? Maybe just one or two people, just to get their direct feedback on what they think of the video before you proceed to, submit it. And I think with these tips, and then with what you have in your first part of the essays and what you heard from Fareed, Olu, and Ufuoma, very well, certain that you all are going to make it into the LMI course too. And that's it from me. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kolapo. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you hear that Kolapo did his video in 3 takes? I think I had like 20 drafts before I submitted my own. It was a lot of work. And the funny thing is, I had already created my first PowerPoint slide to just slide in and show a presentation by Pamela Igrubia. Then you now see LMI applicant. When I went to submit my video, they said, no, press start and do your video there immediately. You're not going to upload anything. And I was like, what is this? So I still had like maybe 5 more drafts before I submitted the main one. The person and they are going to look at your videos, like what Kolapo said, the person that handled my region during the first program that we had, he was looking for me, and then they found me, and then I met him, and then he said, I saw your video, I saw the passion in your eyes. I said, thank you, sir. He didn't know I was very hungry. I had been doing my LMI applications from morning till night, and that was the last day. So please take your video very seriously. Sometimes it's a video that will just save you like this. When they see the passion in your eyes, you want to change Nigeria. So thank you so much, Kolapo, for that. I think now we're going to the meat. In fact, we have already, this part is like the golden part. Our guest speaker is here. Can we get drum rolls as we're going to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Kolapo Isonga? I need to read out her profile. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, we need to change in Nigeria, Onaziga. Yes, so Ms. Kolapo Isonga is the guest speaker for today's event, and she has so much to give you because of her position that she holds. Ms. Sholape Shonuga is an expert in policy development, project management, and strategic partnership management. She possesses exceptional communication, interpersonal, and organizational skills, which enhances her capability to drive positive change in Nigeria. She has always been a key part of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship, basically from ideation to execution. So she's one of those people, immediately you finish seeing the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who is the founder, and then when you're going to top 5, Sholape needs to be among that. And due to this, she always holds strategic position in the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship, ranging from being the coordinator of LMI in 2022 to now being a key member of the Planning and Advisory Committee. Sholape wears many, many, many hats. She continues to change the narrative as she takes up spaces even in places like the African Union. Please, if you've never been to the African Union, can you clap so that mantle can pass to you? Give her a round of applause. She has so much impact in the program, incredibly, that she is called the V8 engine and backbone of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship Program. Please, with a round of applause and a standing ovation, and play your drums, please welcome Miss Sholape Shonuga to the virtual stage as she takes it away.
Thank you so much, Pamela, for such a warm welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Please, I'm just a humble citizen like everybody else, just like all of you here. I'm so grateful for the LMI alumni, the cohort 1, for putting this together. I think that is a real testament of the leadership and the selflessness that has been imbibed in the cohort, and it's a testament of what the LMI actually has to offer. So congratulations and well done to the LMI alumni, the capacitated fellows. So basically, I don't think that there's so much for me to say after listening to what everybody has said, from Honorable Speaker to Honorable Former to Honorable Bolu and Kolapo, and everybody has spoken so well and have given such fantastic advice that I don't think that there's anything much more that I can say. I think that the first thing to say is that the fact that we're taking the time to be on this call is the first step in the right direction. And basically, the LMI is not just, a gathering of young people, but it's a collection of people that want to make impacts, that want to build their nation, that want to serve Nigeria. And I think that that's one thing that I would like to highlight to everybody here on the call. This is not, a place where we just come together, have, lofty discussions and go back. Change Nigeria, that are looking to impact, that are looking to serve the nation. And so if it sounds like you, then definitely you're in the right place. I think that the selection criteria has already been run through. Of course, you have to be a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and you have to be a youth at 18 to 35 years of age. You have to have proven leadership and development skills. And so whether that is something that you did while you were in university, or something that you're doing currently in your place of work, or something that you're doing in your community, leadership and development isn't limited just to, positions of governmental power or public service. There's so many leadership positions that you can put forward. So I think that that's also something that is very important to note. I love Ufuoma's presentation. LMI is big on diversity and inclusion. So gender balance and encouraging persons with disabilities to apply is also something that we hold very dear, because we believe that everybody should have a chance to be leaders and to change the country. And so I would say that in your application and when pulling together, your application, there's some certain things that you should watch out for. And there's certain things that would be very important that would to shine through in your application. And that is your leadership potential, your communication skills, your character traits, and your patriotism. I think I would even underline and highlight and embolden the word patriotism, because we're looking for people that are passionate about Nigeria and that are passionate about change. Nigeria is such a fantastic nation. It's a very, very rich nation, and we need amazing leaders to be able to pull us, to the and to be able to see the potential that we have to actually come to fruition. And so patriotism is something that is very, very big. And I know that when the selection panel is sitting and going through these applications, they're going to be looking for patriots that will be able to have a passion for Nigeria, carry Nigeria on your shoulders so that you can see it go to the next level. The next is leadership potential. So we're looking for people that have demonstrable leadership potential, people that have at least a bit of knowledge about how the government works, because you can't, of course, the LMI will teach you about all of these things, but do you even have an idea around how these things work? Do you have an idea of what the architecture of government looks like? If you don't, and even if all you have is knowledge of like the private sector, is your leadership potential, shining through? What have you done in your community? What have you done in your local church or your local mosque? What have you done, to your with your friends? What have you done while you were in university that shows that you're a leader that is ready to, drive positive change wherever you find yourself? Also, people that are problem solvers. And so we see a generation of people where everybody wants to complain about the problem, but nobody's taking any steps towards actually solving these problems. And so people that have identified, problems within their environment, whether they are small problems or big problems, and have taken steps towards solving these problems. So perhaps there was like a waste problem in your area, and you saw that there was no proper waste disposal, and then you spoke to like your LGA, your local government area, and you guys put together like a community cleaning initiative. So every Saturday or every like other Saturday, everybody comes out, picks up the trash and trashes it properly. Or you see that there's a lot of plastic in use, and then you wanted to recycle to be able to help not just your community but the environment. And so you pull together an initiative, or you mobilize your community to be able to collect plastic bottles so that you can recycle it. Of course, these are like bigger things. There could be smaller things that you could have done. There could be much more bigger things that you could have done that I haven't mentioned here. Well, people that have demonstrable problem solving capacity and demonstrable problem solving skills, and are willing to do what it takes to be able to solve the problems around them. And of course, people that have clear and concise communication skills. I think that this particular one will show forth in your video. I know that we were talking about the video just before I came up. The video is so important because it helps the selection panel and the selection committee to be able to kind of get a glimpse of your personality, even though you're not in the room with them. So I feel like you should put a lot of thought into your video and allow your personality to shine through. Don't be shy. I know that Kolapo said he did his own in 2-3 takes. Pamela said she did her own in like 20 takes. These things, as long as it takes for you to feel like you have a perfect video that shines through, I feel like the video is one of the most important things in the application, because there's no interview. Basically, the video is your interview. So being able to properly communicate and share pieces of yourself to whoever is listening to your video so that they can see your skills, they can see your potential, and that can definitely take you to the next level. And of course, something that is super, super important is your character. So you could have the best leadership skills and you could have the best communication skills, but your character is something that we believe will differentiate you from other people that could have amazing leadership skills. It's what takes you to the next level. Is what we noticed that we're probably lacking as a country. One of the things that we lack as a country, people that have those stellar quality character traits. For you to be an LMI fellow and for you to have the capacity that the LMI fellows have, your character is something that is super important. This ranges from being empathetic to other people's needs, from putting people's needs above yourself, from being able to identify problems and being able to profile solutions that will benefit everybody, from being selfless, and also for regarding people around you, including minority groups. Those are the character traits that we're looking for, with the LMI fellows. I would also say that put a bit of thought in your CV. A lot of people submitted, beautiful applications, but their CVs weren't really reflective of what they submitted in the applications in the last cohort. So I would say that you should put, some thought in your CV, and, just be yourself. I'm sure that your interest in this, if it's genuine, is because, you're a leader in your field and you want to contribute your own quota to seeing that Nigeria moves forward. And that's exactly what the LMI is about. And so if that is you, then definitely the fellowship is for you. And as long as you're, yourself, and you allow these fantastic traits that you have to shine through and to be put forward in a positive light, then I believe that that you definitely be selected, at least within the constraints of what can be taken. So thank you so much for joining, and I wish all of you the best of luck in this process. And whatever the case may be, if you don't get in, because quite unfortunately a lot of applications have come in, a lot of applications will come in between now and Monday, and not everybody will be taken. Very, very few people will be taken. But don't let that deter you, and don't let that stop you from continuing to be the amazing leader that you are. Don't let that stop you from continuing to contribute to our nation. I believe that Nigeria is a fantastic country, and with the efforts of all of us, notwithstanding, what LMI has to offer, I believe that we can see Nigeria become great again. So once again, best of luck with your application. I know that you're going to do amazing. And of course, see you at the top, I would say, whatever the case may be. Thank you so much, and kudos once again to the LMI alum.
Please, thank you. I can see that they've already been giving you a round of applause, meaning that it has been so insightful and it has been so valuable to them. So thank you so much. Please, can we just thank all our speakers, from Honorable Bolu to Honorable Fareed to Honorable Ufuoma to Honorable Abdul Basit Kolapo, and now to Ms. Sholape Shonoga. Please thank everyone, and Mr. Speaker Oliseabu, please thank him. Say thank you in the chat. Thank them for taking out time. These are very busy people, and they took out time because they know how much this would mean to each and every participant in today's program. So I'm just saying thank you to every speaker that came on board before we start asking questions. And I believe that a lot of people have questions already. Yes, thank you for thanking them. They've done so well. In fact, I even took notes to help me for my next application. It's not even LMI, I'm applying for something else, but what they were saying was so important. I took notes so that we're going to apply for another thing. So thank you. This is not knowledge wasted. And like what Ms. Sholape said, she said, even though you don't get chosen, don't stop what you're doing. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep on doing it because you're a leader. So thank you, like our speaker would say. And it's time for question and answer. Let me look through the questions quickly. Yeah, Q&A. So, yes, thank you all for saying thank you. That's amazing. My question is, this is Emmanuel Inya. My question is, what are the chances for COP members that are truly patriotic to make impacts, but haven't gotten an amazing profile like the alumni com speakers? Who is this person? It's like you're already chosen for LMI. Who wants to answer this question from Emmanuel? I mean, any of the speakers. So he said, what are the chances for COP members that are truly patriotic to make impacts, but then they haven't gotten an amazing profile like you guys? So what are the chances for him to get chosen? That's what Emmanuel is asking. Who wants to be so kind to answer this question? Any of the speakers, please. Anyone?
Let me take a stab at it. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think the question you should be, the questioner should ask themselves is, what experiences do they have? So you don't have to have a very fantastic profile like, like Bella, like Bolu, like Fareed. But just look within yourself, even from when you were very little. What are those things that you've done that you're probably proud of? So it doesn't have to be something on a global scale. So even if it's something within your community, like the example, Sholako just gave us now, it has to be very, something personal to you. You don't need to borrow anyone's experience. It has to be your own life experience that you've been through, and what impact have you made. So there's probably a chance that you've done something very, significant before. It could be from your undergraduate days, or even from your secondary school days, just anything. It could be even your faith base, maybe from your church or from your mosque or within your community or even within your family. But that has to be something, extraordinary. So just look within that, and then make sure you point out in your story. So you don't have to be on the global scale before you can, connect your story to your application. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kolapo, for that. Okay, Emmanuel, you said you want to use your speaker. You sure we have time?
Sir.
Okay, seems that he can't speak at the moment. So let me just go to the next question.
Yeah, I also say I wanted to use my speaker.
Can I go on, please?
Is that Emmanuel speaking?
Yeah, this is Emmanuel. A very good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, my sincere appreciation to all the speakers. Though I joined a bit late, I had network glitch here with my Google Meet. Thanks very, very much for so impactful. So yeah, I'm a core member currently serving, and I came across the application today, though still on my application process. And this particular session has been so insightful. So my question concerning core members, why you guys were the speakers were giving their own experience and admonitions, I noticed that they all have amazing experience, amazing profile from from the tech world to the corporate world. They are all doing amazingly well. So for core members that are just coming up, yes, I understand the question that the respondent gave a while ago. Yes, I have made some impact right from undergraduate days. I was a parliamentarian in my department, and also I headed different committees. And then the last general election, I was a polling officer. That's to show you the kind of impact I really want to make. So I wish to ask if adding those experience to my application, if they will necessarily give me an edge from being a parliamentarian, contributing to my department, or with my certificate, being an FDG student ambassador, then working as a polling officer in the last general election, if they will really give me an edge or any other core member. That's my question. Thanks for the opportunity to elaborate.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I believe that from your question, you were already applying for LMI, because what are all these great things you're doing? You've already said that you're a parliamentarian, you're already leading in your department. Please, why are you disturbing yourself? Go for it. Shoot your shot. You've already said amazing things about what you're doing. I thought that you've not even done anything before, that you're asking this question. It's a messy problem. Let me go and meet another person. You don't have an issue. Just go and apply. Let me see another person's question.
Yes.
I wish you.
So I also said if I can use my Chibueze.
Is someone asking a question now?
Yes, I also requested that if I can be able to use my mic.
Okay, yeah, sure. Use your mic. Speak.
Okay, yeah. So about the CV, right? I have a professional CV for my work. I work professionally as a software engineer, but I've had impact across various areas that are really into software engineering, but they are also my CV didn't properly capture my community work, but I have done a lot of work as it regards tech in a community perspective. But my CV is more about my work experience professionally in different organizations than my community work and my leadership capacity. So I don't know if I would have to do another CV or if it works.
Question. I don't know if anyone wants to answer on that. Any speaker could take that on.
Pamela, let me take it.
Okay.
So I want to take it because I also want to quickly speak to CVs, like Sholape mentioned. And also, it also fits into what Emmanuel was saying. See, when it comes to impact, it's not about necessarily the name of a brand, co-founding an NGO or a social club, whatever it is. It's all about how you could express your impact in little spaces, in big spaces, in not so big spaces. The main thing is impact. It's not about what you have done. So if in your essay, for example, and we find out that great candidates miss the point when even in their essays, for example, you start saying, oh, I'm a parliamentarian, I am an intern at World Bank, and stop there. You've not shown impact. You're just saying this is what you are. But the person who says, look, in my church community or in my school community, for example, I was able to help, plant 5 trees for global warming, has shown impact. So it's more about the impact you're doing. You focus on impact, and it doesn't have to be big names. So almost everyone has something they've done, especially if you're committed to community development and personal development, that you've done either volunteering, either as a group of friends in school. The big question is, what is the so what have you done? What I've done this, so what is the impact? What has it done? And that moves also to the CV. You could Google, all of you could Google a doer versus achiever CV. So sometimes in CVs, you see what most people do is, I worked as secretary, I wrote reports. So what? That's the question you should always ask yourself. So what? What did it do? Did it improve processes? Did it help senior management better? Your CV should always show your impact. So whatever you've done, your CVs can show impact, not just listing what you've done or what you are doing, but what did you achieve? If you can quantify, you quantify. And also to Sam, when you said your CV is just showing particular experience, you see, a well-rounded CV is not just about work. So you could put work experience as a heading, and then have, okay, this is what you've done at work. And again, make it not just I am doing this, show achievements, show a trajectory of improvement over time, improvement, whether it's processes, impact on people's life. And then you should have a section for leadership and volunteering. And those other things which you've done can come into those places. And in 1 or 2 sentences, you hit the target of those points. So this goes to everyone in your CV. Put that picture in your mind, that CVs are an all-round picture. They give a picture of you, not just at work, but also your leadership, your volunteering, and most importantly, show impact. So I guess every question about impact has been answered, and I'm sure everyone has a volunteering experience, a founding experience, whatever experience at work that shows your impact.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for that. I hope that we've gotten the answer to that question concerning CV. For people that want to do like further research, I have someone that you could check out on YouTube, Ann on Demand. That is ANN on Demand. She handles it excellently. How to have like a good resume, a good CV if you're applying for graduate applications, you're applying for anything else. And on Demand, she's the person that you should check out. Yes, on YouTube. We have a question about, I'll type out the name, sure. We have a question about cost implications. Someone really wants to know if they are going to pay fees, if they're going to have to pay for accommodation, feeding. So, Ms. Sholape, I don't know if you could help us with that question. They really want to know about costs and payment, if chosen. Okay, let's just wait. Let's take a different question. So someone asked, I'm looking for questions. If you've asked before, you can just ask again if I've not taken your question. Has the submission deadline been moved to Monday? Is Monday the 13th? I think it's the 13th that the deadline is on. Yes, so that's Monday. Yes, Adebanke. So I think it's just, someone said, please, my own question is that I've already submitted my application using the Google Sheet, and there's a specific space that is left blank because it says that we are to answer that using a document. Can I reapply, please? Thank you. So you've already submitted your application, and there is a specific space that is left blank because it says that we are to answer that using a document. Can I reapply? Reapplication, is reapplication allowed? I'm coming. What else? What are the chances for undergraduates with good profile? What speaker wants to take that question? Chances for undergraduates with good profile. I submitted my application yesterday, but that I need to register on the website, and it states. So if you submitted your application on Google Forms, did it say that your application is successful, or they told you that you need to register on the website? Lara, is it that you applied and they told you application successful, or rather they told you that you should try on the website instead of using the Google Forms? What's your question? Please clarify that. Anyone who wants to ask a question vocally can just do that, so we would end as quickly as possible. I think I have someone. Stanley.
Hello, good evening all.
Good
Yes. So my name is Stanley. And I'm very grateful. Thank you all so much for this, both the speaker and you also the moderator, for this opportunity to learn more, not just for the LMI. This has granted me an opportunity also to know how to prepare not my CV, my result, even my communication skills. It has also improved. Just this little meeting we had here, it has impacted so much in my entire, the way I think and the way I plan things. So just a question concerning the form. There's a place they said that has to do where we had to write about equity, the value. So it said we should do that in Word form, then convert to PDF. So I don't know whether, are we submitting it as one document? Should we put each of there are 3 questions there. I just want to know, should we do each question in a PDF or in a Word form? Because the option there is just to submit in a particular place. So I don't know, is it in a folder form where they can open it? When you click on it, then you see the different answers to the 3 different questions, or should we put it just all in a particular document? Let me say number 1, this is the answer to number 1, this is the answer to number 2, this is the answer to number 3. Then we'll not convert that particular document to a PDF, or should we put it different documents or in a folder form then submit? That's just my own question. Thank you.
Hi, Pamela, can I go?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I was going to respond to an earlier question, but I'll just try to express points in this one. I think for me, I haven't gone through the how you're expected to submit, but I think if you are allowed to upload multiple documents, then by all means, respond to upload a document after each question. If you are not allowed to upload multiple documents, then it makes sense to have your essays written. So, for example, if you have a Word document and the first essay is "Who is Ali?" and 200 words. So in your document, you're going to have "Who is Ali?" right? And then you have your 200-word essay. Then you go to the next essay, then you go to the final essay, convert the document to a PDF, and then submit. However, if you're able to respond to the questions individually, then you can do that. I hope that helps, Stanley. Now, then the question I was going to respond to was the question about if there is a chance for an undergraduate student to apply. I'm going to respond to this question this way. One of the first things to look out for when applying for any opportunity, not just the LMI opportunity, is to check out the eligibility. So you see if you are eligible to apply, right? Bolu has provided like some what's it called? A response to that yes, you can apply if you're an undergraduate, and if you would have the time, as well, just to add to what she said, and if you have the time to take 3 weeks off to be part of the program. I know that there was one of us during our cohorts hadn't finished school at the time. All right, so you can actually do that. However, if you are interested but you're not sure if you have the time, or if you have the time to come on for the program for the 3 weeks, you can go ahead to apply. Who knows, you might just be able to you might just get a 3-week break from school and you'll be able to join. Or you can start building your track record. Personally, for me, one of the ways that I turn in good applications for the things that one of the ways that I turn in good applications is to prepare ahead of it, right? So for example, if maybe I'm in 200 level now and I see this opportunity and I want to apply, if I'm not sure about the timeline that I have to be part of the program, I think of next year, and then I start to build track record. So things like Bolu said about community service, volunteering, impact work, like Oli said mentioned earlier. Those are the things that you can start to do, because like the LMI happened last year, it's happening this year. I know that the plan is for the program to be very sustainable, and that's how we can keep political education going in the country. So yes, you can look forward to doing that next year. But by all means, if you have the opportunity to turn in a stellar application, please. Thank you
so much for that question. Someone is asking about if there is an application fee. There is no application fee to apply for LMI, none at all. So just apply, and if you get chosen, they will let you know if you need to make financial contributions in any way, shape, or form. But then just apply. There is no application fee. You don't need to pay anybody to apply for LMI. Just apply. So don't bother about paying. I think when it comes to the technical situations, the small advice I can give you is that please, can you use a desktop? Like, even though you need to go to a cyber cafe, don't use your phone. Go to a cyber cafe and use a desktop, and then make sure that you're entering the correct link. So I think that's the advice I would give if you're having difficulties, probably with your phone. Let me see. Ufuoma is raising. Okay, Ufuoma, you can speak.
Okay, so I was going to respond to a question via text box, but what I want to say was some questions here are about, are there repercussions if the video is over 1 minute? And so I would just want to say that just make sure that you try as much as possible to follow the instructions that is given. So if the prompt says 150 words, it means that your essay should be either 150 words on the dot or less than 150. But I would advise that you kind of put your essay between 120 and 150 words. Maximize the use of words that you have. For your video, you are asked to do a 1 minute video. Please ensure that your video is 1 minute. One of the things that they would probably be looking out for people that can take instructions, because you have the instructions are written out, right? So if they say 1 minute video, please try to keep your videos a little under 1 minute, or if you're very good, 1 minute on the dot. Yes. Someone's asking if it's based on selection or is it randomly based on your CV and qualifications? So like Kolapo said when he was giving his presentation, every single application would be looked at, would be reviewed. So your entire application package, that's your CV, your essays, and your videos, right? The goal is for them to pick 40 applicants to be selected at the end of the entire process. During our time, they had over 4,000 applications, and they picked I think about 70 something of us. That's 2 per state. But this time around, they're picking 1 person per state, which means it's a bit more competitive than it was last year. And so they're not picking it. It's not going to be random. You are going to be properly screened along with any other person that applies from your state, and then the best of you guys. I'm sure like you're all very good, but the best of you guys will be selected to kind of represent your state because it's the legislature, right? So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ufuoma. Please, if you feel like your question has not been answered, I don't want anyone to leave and then they are leaving angry. Please type your questions out now, please. So if you feel that they haven't answered your questions, just type it out and then we'll see how to go about it. So you wouldn't leave and then you're upset. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, hello Pamela, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, so there's a question about the discrepancy in the questions that you have on the form and then the one on the website. So what I learned from, I think there's even a message on the Twitter account of at official LMI, is that they're going to actually review submissions from both channels. So whether you're submitting via the form on the LMI website or the Google form, whichever submission, whichever channel you're going to use, they're actually going to review submissions from both independently. So if you're doing the website, if you're doing the Google form, just go ahead with it and submit either way.
You're saying that there are two ways to submit now, Google form and what other one?
Yes, the Google form is active and then the website application form is also active. So you can submit from either. There's a on the Twitter account that you should go ahead and you should proceed with that.
Okay. Someone is asking about if there will be further interview after you have submitted. I don't know about that. During our time, it was just your submission and then they picked. Maybe if this one is very competitive, maybe they will have to pick like an alternative to pick like the final 40 or 45. So I don't know.
Yeah, so let me borrow from what Sholako said during our session. She mentioned that the video is actually your interview. So think of the video as you standing before the review committee to actually defend what you have in your essays and what you have on your CV. So the video, 1 minute video, is more like your what do you call it? Is it your elevator speech to sell yourself further and kind of put more weight on your resume and your essay responses. So yeah, just work on the video and then that's what they're going to use to interview you.
Okay, I just want to say that if I see a question about can you reapply again, you only submitted on the form and there's a blank space. So if you fall under this category, right, where maybe there has been an issue with your application or stuff like that, I'd advise that you go on the official LMI pages or via the website and send a DM and send an email between today and tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last working day of the week, and the application closes on Monday. So I'd advise that you do that ASAP, so that if there are any ways that they can assist you with that, you would be assisted. The selection is based on your state of origin and not your state of residence. And yes, somebody asked if you would be given accommodation and stuff like that. Well, during our time, at the end of the day, we can only respond for what happened during our time.
Yeah.
So during our time, we were all of us that were selected from different parts of Nigeria, we were accommodated in Abuja for the duration of the fellowship, and then obviously our transportation was covered, our accommodation was covered, and then also our feeding. And if you do get selected, be rest assured that there would be like an onboarding or orientation time where you can now respond to these questions. At the time, right now, what we're focusing on is the application. So some of all these things are things that you don't need to worry yourself about. What you need to be invested in right now is ensuring that you submit a stellar application and then you're selected to represent your state. And then timeline for when you get a response. I'm sure that it will be communicated to you in due time. Submit your application first. Submit your application first, and you would get that response once it's ready. For us, it took a while, but I'm sure that it might not take so long for you guys as well.
It took a while for us. It really did take a while. I even forgot about the applications, and then I got an email like at the last part of August. I think we applied like July or June.
We applied, I think the call for application was in June and the deadline was in July. So this current cohort will not have, they don't have the luxury of time to submit your application. So you just need to be very fast. And so if you're having issues on submitting your application, you should have tried to reach out via email before now. But if you haven't, please make sure that you do. If you go on the official LMI alumni page, you can see, for example, Sholape that was here, you can maybe see her, try and respond, just try and reach out to somebody to help you with that. Kolapo has shared the link to the to the notification he referenced, where if you submit via the questions on the website or on the Google form, your application will be addressed independently, right? Don't submit.
Yes.
Google form just in case, because that would have you disqualified. Just ensure that if you started with Google form and you have submitted on the Google form, go ahead. If you have not submitted on the Google form and you think maybe you can respond better to the questions on the website, choose whichever pathway you think works best for you and submit one application.
Yes. Thank you, Ufuoma. Please just do like due diligence. Make sure you answer every question. Read, and read again. It's something that you really want. Take out time. Like what Kolapo said, use these remaining days and take out time and make sure that you submit on time. Do due diligence. Don't say, oh, you missed out a spot. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. It's just that you need to be very careful. And like what Ufuoma said, you can reach out to the team and then explain to them about what you're going through. And tomorrow is the last working day for the week, and then Monday is the deadline. So just act fast. And for those that haven't applied, please take your time and read through properly. Ufuoma, please.
There's a question here about if scholars, patriotic Nigerians studying abroad are qualified to apply. Please, yes, apply. You meet the criteria. As long as you meet the eligibility criteria, whether or not you're in Nigeria or not, it will interest you to know, like Kolapo has said, our honorable speaker was outside of the country at the time of application. He came back, he was selected, he came to Nigeria for the fellowship. After the fellowship, he went back to his place of abode, basically. So yes, please, once you are eligible, apply. All these other things like accommodation, transportation, all these things will be sorted out. What you need to just make sure is that you get selected. Please, is the Alumni Association on any social media so we can follow for any guide? Yes, we are on Twitter and we are on Instagram. Pamela, can you help us with maybe the link so that so yes, we're on Instagram and we're on Twitter. You can follow us. And then this recording would be made available as well in case you might need it in putting together your application.
I believe that we're done with questions. So thank you guys so much for your patience, and I hope that we've answered everyone's questions. So we're going to wish you like the best of luck, and we hope that you get chosen. So thank you so much. We are so grateful. Yes, thank you for staying till the end. I think you should check LMI. I think at least everyone will be on Instagram, LMI_alumni. And then you could also check, that's on Instagram. And then I think I could also put the link. Okay. So thank you guys so much. And I think we could close now. Mr. Speaker, permission to close? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Again, thank you everyone for your time. I've shared the Twitter handle of the LMI Fellowship. We're also on LinkedIn. The video will be shared online, so you could rewatch it again and connect with fellows, and we could keep on the conversations going. Thank you, everyone, and have a pleasant night rest.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.